Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the EVERBLACK Podcast.
Hey, human skull, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corso Under Fisher.
This is Jasmine Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Mike Nick from Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, is Wednesday 13?
This is
Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary Big from Sepultura. You're listening to EVERBLACK Podcast.
All right, before we go into this episode, we just need to give a shout out to our show supporters, the brutal occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have amazing apparel from shirts to hoodies to hats to beanies and more. Check out their full range at electricwitch.com.au and put in the code EVERBLACK for 20% off your order. Don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the EVERBLACK podcast through Spotify, iTunes, YouTube and Facebook, and check out all our articles at everblackmedia.com. All right, on with the show. Ben, thanks for joining us on the show, mate. How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Things are good, bro. It's really friggin' cold in Canberra.
I could imagine. What is it there now? Minus something?
No, it's not getting that low tonight. It's probably about 2.
Yeah. Not quite.
Hey, I'm indoors.
I don't know how you do it. I'm not built for the cold, even for a rounder gentleman. I don't know how you guys.
Neither am I, but I keep doing it.
Well, man, DepriVation have just released your new EP, Quick and the Dead, which is absolutely killer. How did this one come about?
Mate, we probably started working on it about a year ago. It was originally going to be an album. We actually recorded an entire album.
Oh, wow.
There's about 11, 12 tracks. Drums are done, guitars are done, bass is done. I started doing the vocals, and we were recording in Wollongong, Orange. Most of us are here in Canberra, and it was just finding time to get to the studio. Kids, life, work, and money is a big thing. And Jesse, our bass player, and myself, we thought, well, we could probably do the vocals at home, finish them off. So we got some money together and bought a heap of mics and all that kind of crap, and set up shop at his place, at our rehearsal space, and thought, let's just do the vocals at home, take our time. And then we thought, it's going to take a little bit longer because we're taking our time. So why not split the album up into, say, 3 EPs and release them a few months apart over the next 12 months. So that's what we're doing.
I think that's a really good idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, it puts the focus on that. Because those 3 tracks are really, really good, man. They're really solid. And I think it really puts the focus on those. So in saying that, so you did all the vocals, and was it just the vocals that you did in the
yeah all the instruments were done in actual studios, and I started recording the vocals. I did a few days in the studio, and did bits and pieces, but then when we got home I thought, there's what it's like when you record, you listen back to it a few weeks later, I'm like, I should have changed that. I should have done this. I could have done something better. And, I was able to do that and take my time. And I've got Jesse on backing vocals as well. So it's really changed our sound. I think all the growly low stuff is actually our bass player.
Oh, wow. Cool, man.
Yeah.
It sounds really brutal, man. And the feedback online looks like it's been really good too.
It's been nothing but awesome feedback. Yeah.
Because it's been
from all over.
Yeah, man. It's unreal. Because it's been 2018 was the last release. It was a single, wasn't it?
Yeah. Left for Dead 2018. Yeah. And that was just going to be, a we're back kind of thing, reunion, and then we got to writing and, an album worth of material, and we're like, oh shit, we need to get this out. EPs.
Is there a tie-in between, Left 4 Dead and Quick and the Dead? You know what I mean? Is there some kind of connection?
Not really. I didn't realize until we actually wrote Quick and the Dead that they both had dead in the title. I actually stole that from, remember the old movie with Russell Crowe and Sharon Stone? It's an old gunslinger movie.
Sam Raimi movie.
That's the one.
Yep. I love that movie.
Only us old blokes remember that.
I know, right? And it was a massive hit too. It was Sam Raimi.
No one else in the band has seen it. They didn't know what I was talking about.
It was Sam Raimi. Am I going crazy?
Oh, look, you're more on top of this stuff than I am. I just know who was in the film. A very young Leonardo DiCaprio.
It is. I've got to find this out. Or
the song has nothing to do with that movie. It was just a cool title, and I fitted into the lyrics.
Yep. Man, it was Sam Raimi. There you go.
You're all over it.
So
yes.
yeah, I had to, or was that was going to drive me crazy? But
everyone should watch that. Look that film up and watch it. It's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, and of course, I mean the artwork is killer too, man. Who did that?
That's done by a fella in Sydney called Glenn. Sorry, Glenn, I can't remember your last name. He just goes by the name Glenn O'White. He's done stuff for Palm. Who else? Some really big stuff in Melbourne. International guys. I'd seen his art on Instagram by chance, and it actually turns out one of our old bass players used to be a flatmate with his brother.
No way.
Back in Orange. So this all come full circle. And I'm like, we need to use this guy, his awesome art, but because of that connection.
That's all. And man, he did you give him free rein, or was it just you had something in mind?
Right. Because of the title and because of the film, again, they had nothing to do with each other, but I always had this Wild West sort of thing. Skulls are a love of mine. My lounge room's got like 30 skulls in it. The kids love it. And I just said to him, mate, this is the song title. This is what I'm thinking. Go nuts. And he come back with that, which you hit it out of the park. A dead cowboy on a flaming dead horse.
Brutal.
Love
it.
Metal.
Yeah. Is it going to be on shirts, or is it on shirts yet?
Mate, they are in production. We really wanted that design to be everywhere. We've used it for the EP artwork, which is only digital at the moment. But we're like, it has to go on a shirt. So we've taken a heap of pre-orders, and we should have them by the end of the month.
Put me down for 20.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, I'll take one. I'll get one off you because
I'll make sure you get it.
Absolutely. Yep. Take my money. And it sounds amazing too. It was mixed and mastered by Machine at the Machine Shop. And for those who aren't familiar with his work, I suggest, go and check it out because, I mean, you guaranteed, open the credits of some of your Lamb of God, Clutch, Crossfaith, a shit ton of others. How is it working with him? I mean, that's huge.
It's been really surreal. Like, to anyone in a small indie band who they have someone that they love their work. Like, from me personally, like, don't ever think, oh, they're too big to work with me. Just send them an email. That's all we did. Jesse and I are huge Lamb of God fans. I don't know if you saw the Making of Sacrament, the film, the doco. Machine is in there and he's putting Randy and the boys through their paces, and we're just like, this guy's awesome. So we emailed him and went, would you be interested? And he got back to us, showering us in praise with our previous work. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. So we kept in contact as we were recording, and, when we were ready, we sent him the tracks and he loved them. So, yeah.
It sounds so huge, man. Well done, man.
It's a monster.
Yeah. And, is the rest of the track? I can't even tell. I'm talking like a pirate. I don't know what I'm talking about. Is the rest of the track say is? The rest of the tracks, the rest of the tracks that you're working on, will they be sent through him as well?
Yeah, we're definitely going to use the machine for the rest. Our plans are to stagger the releases at this stage, probably 3 EPs, and just digitally get machine to mix and master them. Like, he's already knocked it out of the park. We're so happy and excited to see what he does with the other tunes. And then once the EPs are out, we really want to go old school and get them pressed on CDs as one album.
Ah, that's cool. What about vinyl?
Mate, I'd love to. I'm a collector myself. Again, it's finances. So hopefully we can, 12 months down the track, we can make that happen, because I would definitely want one.
Me too. That's awesome, dude. And of course, I mean, the band has been together for 14 years now, with a bit of a break in there, but you got back together. 14 years for most bands, man, is a really long time, especially in the Australian scene. Looking back on that, what's kept it all together from your point of view? What's kept you guys rolling?
But, really, the end of the day is just the love of metal, and playing live and creating. It's I don't like to say I'm an artist, but it's art, and it's what we feel. It's an emotional thing, especially for me as a songwriter, a lyricist. All the songs are very deeply personal, and I've always used it. We started the band, I was 25. It's always been, an outlet for me emotionally, what's going on in my life. So I think without it, I'd be in a bit of a dark hole.
I agree, man. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like, it's some people go, they'll grow out. Nah, man, it's in here. Hey,
It is.
You can't.
Heart, soul, blood, sweat.
Everything. It's your whole being, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And of course, you toured the States back in 2012, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep. That was, probably something that we may not get to do again. Obviously, the way the world is at the moment, and that carrot man they have in the White House there makes it very hard for for anyone to go on holiday there, let alone musicians go and tour. So we were very lucky to get over there while we did.
No one saw it coming, really. I mean, this time last year, everyone was like, "Oh, hey, touring and blah blah blah." Like, it jumped on. I mean, given the current state, especially America, would say if they eased everything, is something you'd want to go back to, especially with President Kanye.
Yeah, especially with President Kanye. Look, it was a time in our lives that we're never going to forget. We made so many new friends that we still talk to today over there. To play outside your hometown is just awesome for a band, but to go outside your country and have some little success and come back with a smile on your face, we would definitely do it again.
Did you do Europe?
No, unfortunately, just the States. It's funny, we've been to America, but we've never been to like New Zealand or Tassie, where places I'd really like to play. But yeah, it was just luck, mate. It just all fell into place. 3 weeks on the road in the States in a van. It was like these guys back in the day.
That's awesome, man. Who were the bands that you played with?
Look, we there was a few young bands like ourselves. 2 of them aren't together anymore. One from San Francisco called what are the boys? No, slipped my mind. I've had too many of these. Mate, they were all indies and just DIY, and for them it was their first big tour as well. So we caravanned in vans and had a great time.
That's awesome, man. That's so good. And I mean, you've toured Australia a few times as well. You know, what's the most challenging thing about that compared to, say, the States and stuff like that? Well, how would you compare?
Travel.
Yeah.
Travel. Yeah. Like we've since the get-go, we've never been afraid of, jumping in the car, 2 cars. Sometimes we'd take 3 cars depending on what mates were coming with us. But everywhere's so far away. I don't think people from America or anywhere else in the world realize how wide our country is between, spot A and B. We used to drive to Adelaide to play a show, and then we'd drive home, which is, from Orange, where we were originally, 16 hours.
Ugh, brutal.
And we do that because, it's a road trip with your mates. You get up to all kinds of mischief, and then you get to play a show with, some local heroes, some bands you've never heard before, and you make, friendships and have a good time. That's what being in a band's supposed to be about, I think.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And, you've done a few supports as well over the years, like Cavalier and stuff like that. Which one's been your favorite?
Look, I think obviously Max and Igor Cavaliera was definitely a high point. We were the only support here in Canberra, played to a full house. Got to meet the guys afterwards, which was amazing. But I think the one that stands out was our very first international was with Cataclysm at the Manning Bar in Sydney. And I think because it was our first and we were young, it's always just stuck in my mind. It was such a cool show.
Yeah, it's definitely something special about that first time, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, among many other things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, of course, can we expect to see you boys back in Queensland when this all eases off? Are there plans to come back?
Mate, we hadn't had anything booked in, but we were definitely planning to try and get up there by the end of the year. Obviously, things have changed now, but got some good mates up there in Disgust. And there's this Snake Mountain band I've heard of. I really want to play with them.
Maybe. I think I've heard of them.
I know. I actually joined the Skeletor Army.
Oh, did you?
I did. Just hopefully I get to get up there and jam with them guys one day.
Well, let's hope that happens. Winkies. And it sounds good too. That would be amazing. We'd love to have you guys up here.
Everywhere we go, the East Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, we always have such a good time, get along with everyone. There's so many killer bands in our country. It's nuts not to be in a band and get in the car and go to these places.
Absolutely, dude. And Victoria seems to be at the moment. There's a lot of bands that Shane, I don't know if you know Shane, he's following a lot of bands from Victoria at the moment.
Yep.
Like these bands, something's going on. There seems to be a bit of a movement happening down that way too.
Yeah, definitely. I think every couple of years, certain cities take turns in the big eruption, and Melbourne's the melting pot at the moment. We're a bit bummed. We have our very first show coming up this weekend here at home in Canberra at the Basement. And Witchgrinder was supposed to be coming up play with us. And we haven't played with the boys for quite some time, so we were really excited. And I got a message from Travis the other day saying that obviously with what's happening down there now, they can't come. So everyone's really bummed. So
yeah, man. Are you still doing the show?
We are still doing the show. Yeah, it's all local bands. It's going to be really strange, but awesome to get back on stage. Social distancing and a seated heavy metal gig.
Wow.
So it's going to be quite strange, but we don't shy away from any gigs, and it's our home stage, and we've all got wireless gear. So if the pit can't come to us, we go to the pit.
That's awesome, dude. That's exactly the attitude that you got to have, right? We need the metal, man. We need
Absolutely.
that are, as long as people are being sensible. I mean, you know.
That's right. Yeah,
But,
wash your damn kids.
That's awesome, man. Well, of course, have you got a timeline on this next release after this?
Mate, we're actually, we just started talking about, getting back into the vocals next week. The good thing is I don't have anyone barking at me to get it done quickly. Obviously, we don't want to wait too long, but the next one will be another 3 tracks, completely different to the last 3, these ones that have just come out, but they will fit in with those. So, 2 or 3 months, hopefully, and we'll hit your ears with a couple of new tracks.
That's awesome, bro. Well, of course, Ben, thanks for hanging out on the show. Quick and the Dead, or Quick and the Nev. I don't know.
Quick and the Nev.
Quick and the Nev. Yeah, Quick and the Dead is out now everywhere. Go get it. As I always say, the links will be down here. Click on those. Buy all the merch. Dude, thanks for hanging out on the show, and I'll see you boys soon.
Absolutely, mate. We're coming for you, and cheers.
I need to get one of those.